Hi, I'm Dr. Margriet Barnard, your host of the Birth and Baby Show, brought to you by Sister Lillian Center and Sensitive Midwifery. We empower moms, midwives, and birth workers to have the best birthing and parenting experience through natural, physiological, and intuitive care, resulting in birth and baby advice you can trust.
This episode is brought to you by Simplex, who has been one of the market leaders for more than 2 decades, providing quality products at an affordable price, trusted by moms and midwives alike. Visit simplex.co.za for a healthier way of life.
Hi, welcome back to another episode. I'm very excited for this special episode, which we're going to be focusing on everything breastfeeding. As you might know, August is Breastfeeding Awareness Month, and we really do need a lot of awareness. And on that note, we at Sister Lillian Center has made a beautiful breastfeeding course, which is available for free thanks to our sponsor. So we will share the link in our show notes. So it's very, very important that you prepare yourself for breastfeeding. And that is all we're going to be hearing and talking about in this episode with Samantha. Samantha is a very passionate lactation consultant and a mother that's experienced it all. So I'm sure you're going to be in for a treat. Sam, welcome here with me. It's so nice to have you. I'm very excited about this topic. It's very close to my heart. But before we dive in, just tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do.
So first and foremost, I'm a wife and a mom of 2 teenage boys. And I think having kids also really helps with this, helping other moms through a journey like this. So for me, it's a positive in that. But what I spend my day doing, other than running after my children, is I mainly do home visits for lactation consulting. So helping moms breastfeeding, helping moms through the whole journey actually. So starting from prenatally, through I don't do the birthing anymore, but I definitely help them after the fact with the breastfeeding and all the way through to getting those babies weaned onto solid food. So it's basically what I spend my time doing, and it's what I love to do.
Wonderful, yeah, and it's so needed, right?
100% needed. We've sadly lost our village, which is a thing I always talk to moms about or parents about, is to say, we used to live in a village, and the old woman used to, when you've had your baby, they used to come around and teach us how to do things, and and then once we were good at it, if I could put it that way, and the next woman had her baby, we would help her and teach her, and sadly we've lost that. And our village is more internet, social media, which is, as I said earlier, it's a drama. it's not what I want our village to be. So now, unfortunately, I'm a little bit of people's village.
Yes.
Which is nice for me, but, I want them to have their own village.
Absolutely. So that's already a key message in itself, find your village.
Yes. 100%, find your village.
Yeah, so Samantha, with working with so many moms, what are one of the main things you see out there?
In terms of breastfeeding, what I really see is a little bit of a mismatch between what moms expect and what the reality is, and I think that's very hard to. A lot of moms describe it that it's surreal. Like when we talk about in antenatal, something they want to do things, but the actual reality of it is hard. So I found all the parents, almost all, I'm going like good 99% here, want to breastfeed. It's their in their soul, they want to do it. But I don't always think they realize how hard breastfeeding is. And this isn't to scare people away or to make people not want to breastfeed. This is really to say breastfeeding is hard work, okay? And it takes hard work. But everything in life that's good for you is hard work. So one of the messages I always say is, lying on the couch, watching Netflix, ordering Uber Eats, that's easy, but it's not good for you. But, going to gym and eating healthy, lean and green, and it's hard. But that's what is good for you. So having kids is hard. All aspects of it is hard. And I like to help parents manage that aspect of what is the reality versus what is your expectation. So that's where I always like to start with moms. What are they thinking? Where do you think this is going? Like, what do you think it's about?
I think that is so key, expectations versus reality. Also because we're not growing up with other mothers, most of us, it's the first time, completely new. And so Most moms want to breastfeed, I think.
Yes.
That is sort of the thing you need to do, right?
Yeah.
So unpack a bit some of the expectations versus reality for me.
So one expectation I always feel they have is this mismatch of understanding about milk supply, okay? Because I don't know where it came from, but we have in our brains that as this baby comes out, we're going to have this sort of abundance of flowing milk, and our brain sees a baby being fed with a bottle of milk. That's sort of in our brain. And then you have this baby and you have the colostrum, which is an amazing, I mean, I don't need to tell you about it, I'm not going into it all, but it's an amazing food for this baby. But it's measured in mils, so we're looking at between sort of 5 and 20 mils per feed that this baby's getting. That's measuring something in teaspoons. That's not measuring in 30, 60, 100 mils. That is, 1 to 4 teaspoons that you're feeding a baby. And I sometimes think our brains don't always comprehend how, that is. So we like to use words to help moms understand, like, it's like concentrate, and that's, I think, why we emphasize so much the importance of that colostrum, so you can really understand what impact that little volume has. And then to go through how, through your journey, your milk supply actually works. The supply and demand situation of it, when babies have growth spurts, when is it going to increase? And then truly, when is a true low milk supply versus what is a fear of a low milk supply? Because I think that's where social media sort of hampers us a little bit, because you can sell products through fear very easily. So we're looking at all these moms out there, and they've got these chest freezers filled with milk, and they're saying that their baby's only 4 weeks old, and they've got... And I really need to tell moms that's not real. That's not where your expectations should be. You shouldn't be feeding our freezer. We should be feeding our baby. And that's where we like to discuss a lot of things. And that's why I really implore parents to truly understand how much milk babies actually need, and what is the reality of your body. Like, what can your body actually produce? And then where it's sometimes nice to get help from the lactation consultant, someone is, what are my red flags? Like, maybe I'm on a medication, maybe I've had a breast reduction, a few little red flags, and how can we manage that so we don't run into trouble down the line. So milk supply definitely for me is a big one.
And just what does it look like say you have a newborn, the first weeks, what does it look like?
So it's hard. I can tell you, I don't know anyone who has sort of had a newborn baby and gone, this is easy. You sometimes do that for maybe the first week because you were expecting a lot more, but it gets really tough. And I think that's the other aspect. We don't realize how often a baby needs to be fed and cared for. And we sometimes don't realize that we care for babies through the night as well. Yeah. We almost have this daytime expectation, but then we're like, okay, we're done. The clock's off, we're going to sleep now. And this baby's like, no, I still like to feed every 2 hours. And I don't know where it's come from. There's a lot of theories about where things came from and that, but for some reason we think babies are going to feed for 10, 15 minutes, then they're going to sleep for 3 to 4 hours, and then we do that. And anyone who's had a baby knows that is just not the reality. The reality is more, sometimes this baby can feed for an hour 15 because they're really hungry at that feed. And then they only sleep for an hour. And then the next feed, they feed for 5 minutes and sleep for 4 hours. So it's very, I don't know what's my word, it's very unpredictable. Right. And I feel we're a society who likes apps and tick boxes, and we like things to be nice and neat and simple, and babies just aren't like that. And the reason they're not like this is because they're human. So this is another thing to teach people, is these are little human beings. Yes. So sometimes they're hungry, like we are. Sometimes we eat everything that's in front of us. Other days we're like, I'm more tired today, or I'm more thirsty today as opposed to hungry. And that's a good thing, because part of my journey is to actually teach people healthy eating as well. Okay, so we don't end up in trouble like a lot of us are in terms of emotionally eating for the wrong reasons, things. So by learning that in breastfeeding, it's very, very important to listen to our bodies, and we teach the parents to say, look at your baby, and look at your baby, not at the app. You know, look at your baby, not at the book.
So good.
Learn from your baby, but it's hard. It really is. It's draining. It's relentless because you never have that break because it's every 2 hours. You know, and normal babies can feed anything from 8 to 18 times in 24 hours. So, and that's the normal. That's
so
normal.
I hope that everyone heard that. 8 to 18 times.
Yeah, and that's Professor Amy Brown, her researchers, and she's done it numerous times. And that's where it's looking at is babies feed between 8 to 18 times, and that's the normal range. So a baby feeding 18 times in 24 hours is not out the norm.
Yeah, so that is a real expectation that we need to get right before we start breastfeeding. So why would you then go breastfeeding if it's this hard?
You know, we ask ourselves that often when we're breastfeeding, like, why are we doing this? But you know what, babies are hard. You know, just having kids is hard. And, you know, I sometimes look at these, because I've got teenage boys now, I sometimes look at these moms with these newborn babies and I'm like, oh, you've got it so easy. All you have to worry about is feeding them and that's it. And I'm like, oh, that's so easy. I'm like, you know, they say bigger kids, bigger problems. You know, not that my kids are problems, but you got more things to worry about. But it's about learning. And I don't think whether you're breastfeeding, I don't think whether you choosing to bottle feed or formula feed or exclusively pump, I don't think there's any aspect that you can just say, this is the easy way, you know, this is much easier, or people can help me, or it's not. It's definitely, you know, everything has their hard parts and they're all difficult. Yeah. And that's through everything. That's through the pregnancy, that's through birthing. You know, having a C-section is not the easy way out, you know, by any stretch of the imagination. Having a normal birth is not the easy way out. There's nothing easy about having kids. It's the most rewarding and most amazing thing you'll ever do in your life, but it is probably the hardest thing you'll do from all aspects, physically, emotionally, everything. So I don't think you can say, you know, but having said that, you've got to want to do something.
Absolutely.
And you've got to want to put the work into it. Because if you don't want it, you don't want to put the work in, it's not going to get there. And it's not that you failed or anything, it's just not for you.
Correct.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So talking about breastfeeding, it does get easier, right?
Much easier. Much easier.
I think that's good to know for moms. Like, you have to put in that work. For some, they have an easier start than others, but it should get easier, right?
No, it definitely does. And I think that's what mars our expectation a little bit, because we see that mom at the coffee shop and she literally pops her baby on the boob and the baby drinks and everyone's happy and we think that's what breastfeeding should be. But we didn't see her in the first sort of 6 to 8 weeks where she was really, you know, really working hard to get this right. And there were days when she struggled and days when she did it amazing. But I do find it gets easier and easier. And, you know, I think back now to in the middle of the night where I just used to grab my baby and pop it on the boob and didn't even I don't even think I barely woke up at that point. Yes. And the thought of then for me having to get up and, you know, go pump or mix a bottle or do whatever needed to happen, I was like, no, that feels like a lot of hard work. So I think it's the same as anything. I love this quote Roger Federer did the other day. He said he gets very irritated when people say that his tennis looks effortless, because he says, in order to make something look effortless, you don't understand the 20, 30 years of extremely hard work you put into that.
Correct.
To make something look effortless. And I think why it resonated with me is because these moms who make breastfeeding look effortless, you know, have put a lot of time and energy and effort into this to make it look effortless. And that's with everything we do. You know, I would love to run comrades, but I'm not willing to put the effort in.
Yes.
You know, it's not something that I want, and that is a thing. You've got to want to put some work into all of this, but that's every part of parenting. Every part of parenting.
Yeah, I like that you put it that way. And apart from it being effortless, it becomes easier down the road. You've got always your warm milk with you, and you don't have to get out of bed, especially when it's cold at night. But breastfeeding also has a massive health impact for babies. I think you also save a lot of doctor bills. And knowing that and also the long-term effects of breastfeeding will definitely want you to invest all this time and effort into your child, right?
No, absolutely. So there's so much research going on around the benefits of breastfeeding, and the more and more we learn, the more and more we're a little bit like, we should be doing this, And
Yes.
I think the world is actually swinging a little bit back to more normal, natural, as opposed to convenience. I really do see a swing towards that, and I even think when I had my baby, I think I was with my second child, I was the first normal birth, and he was born in June in the hospital. And where now it's, we're seeing more and more and more normal births. I'm seeing more and more moms breastfeeding. I'm seeing more and more people going more normal as opposed to convenient and easy. And I do think there is a health benefit with doing that. And you can't, I don't think we even know the health benefits yet that the breastfeeding is providing. Because it's, this is going to sound terrible and we can cut it out if you want, but I see a lot of people, they say to me they want an organic formula, and I always say to them, but that's an oxymoron. You can't have an organic product that's made in a lab.
Yes.
There's certain aspects that it can be, and we can improve them and make them better. And they're very important in the world because we do need these products. Because we really, they've helped babies survive. But we can't ever, I think, understand how just drinking what our bodies have made. And that's the thing, I think we need to start trusting our bodies as well.
Yes.
Trusting that our bodies know how to do things. Okay, I've lost a lot of trust in my body. I can see lots of people have lost trust in their bodies. They don't believe their bodies can, create babies, can birth babies, can feed babies.
Correct.
I think we've lost a lot of that trust, but hopefully we're starting to get it back. And when we get that back, I think we'll start seeing the benefits coming through of what the research is showing us from a breastfeeding health perspective, and especially immunity. For me, that's the number one.
Yes.
I don't think anything on the market could ever create that immune benefit.
No.
And with all these viruses coming out in the world, I think that's where we're headed, and that's what we need.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think the pendulum has shifted completely. But we are still working in that environment that we've created with all our modern ways that we thought would be better. But we are learning, no, let's go back to the way it's intended to be. So we still need to catch all these mommies that are now mommies. So how can we best support them? Because I hear through all of this, it's hard, but it's doable. We just need to cheer them on and support them well.
Yeah.
As families, as partners, how can we do that best?
So for me, support is your number one reason for continuing through your breastfeeding journey. And a big way to support these parents is actually through our wording that we use. And people laugh at me, but I say wording is so important. So some of the questions we ask parents, I always start with the partner, because the partner is your number one support system. And partners really need to be involved in the breastfeeding side as well, and they need to learn how to support a breastfeeding parent, because it is so important from that point of view. And we have different personalities, and sometimes our personality is to problem solve. And problem solving isn't always excellent for breastfeeding. So the mom who's breastfeeding is crying, she's tired, she doesn't want to do this anymore. And we think a good solution would be, it's okay, let's just give the baby a bottle of whatever we're giving baby, and you can go sleep and rest. And the message she's hearing is, I failed, I can't even feed my own baby. Okay, that's very unsupportive. It seems like a good idea, but it's very unsupportive to what she's feeling. A more supportive way would be, what can I do to help you so that you have more time to get this right, or to do this, or who can I get to support you if I can't help it? So from that side, and then the periphery people as well. Our words are very important. So I hear a lot of people saying, is your baby good? Okay, and it irritates me, because you can actually see this mom panic about this question, because what we've learned so far, or what we've been taught, is that a good baby sleeps through the night, only feeds every 4 hours. And that's rubbish. That's not a good baby. A good baby is one that wakes up every 2 hours and tells you I'm hungry, who wakes up and doesn't stop breathing in the night. That's a good baby. A good baby is the one that cries when you take its nappy off and wipe it with a cold wet wipe. It's saying, I don't like that. That's horrible. That's a good baby for me.
Yeah.
But society isn't saying that. And I always want to say to these parents or people who ask this question, what are you expecting the mom to answer?
Yeah.
What are you wanting from her with a question like that? And sometimes advice it's not malicious, it's coming from a good place, but is it helpful to the mom? And that's something we always have to ask. Is it helpful to the parents? So when you ask, you say statements like the mom goes, oh, I'm so tired of breastfeeding, okay? And you say to her, but you've done well, why don't you just stop? Why don't you just give the baby a bottle? Why don't you just top up,
Yeah.
And it's coming from a good place for you because you want her to be happy, but for her that's very unsupportive. What you should be saying is, you're amazing, you're doing so well. What is your goal? Where are you wanting to be? You're doing so well. What can I do to get you to the next step, to get over that?
Yeah.
And I think I use a lot of sports analogies, but sports coaches do that for our sports people, and I want that to come through for our breastfeeding parents as well. Like,
yes.
just that wording. Like, think before you sort of offer. And I know you're not doing it from a bad, the people giving advice. It's not coming from a bad place. It's coming from a place of love and goodness. But I'm like, if you've got that love and goodness, think it through first. Before you ask the question, before you hand out that advice. And it may have worked well for you, but it may be very unsupportive for her. So find out from the parents what is their needs before we, offer what we did. And
so good. Yes, that's really helpful.
Wording.
And it's not even that difficult.
No.
You don't have to go buy formula or what. No.
You don't need to do anything.
Yes.
And we don't need products. We don't need anything. We just, we need to have an understanding. We need to have a trust, and we need our village. We need that support.
Yes. And I heard you say you don't need products, because that I think is also a thing that in expectations you feel like you need to have all this stuff.
Yes. It's for me, it's a human nest or modern nesting, instead of
modern nesting.
Modern nesting, instead of the impala making her area safe, we use our credit card to do that. So we go and shop for in case, and we really, I hope no one's advertising on this thing because I'm very anti-products, but we don't need products.
Yes.
And the less products we use, probably the better. Our babies will be, the better off they'll be.
Yeah.
And if we do need something, because there are times, I do say to moms, sometimes we need the support aid. Let's go get it. But we're not, the area I'm in, definitely, we're not living in an area where it's difficult to get products.
Exactly.
There's a Discom and a Clicks and an online shop and everything everywhere. So if we really do need something, we can, at least within 24 hours, we can get it. So it's very rarely an emergency that we need something. We can get it. So save your money for later. Don't buy products. Don't buy any products. My baby shower lists are terrible because I tell people, no, you don't need any of that. No, you don't need any of that.
I'm totally with you on that.
Don't buy that.
The same.
Don't need that.
Yes. No, you must be careful with that trap that marketing make us believe what we all need.
Yeah, and I feel for the marketers. I know they're doing their jobs,
yes.
but this is big business, and I don't think it should be.
Yeah.
I really don't think it should be. It's not to be marketed at, because that creates incorrect avenues and fear. Because marketing fear is a good seller.
It really is. No, I'm glad that you pointed that one out. So Samantha, when would you come in the picture as a lactation consultant?
So, to be honest with you, as a lactation consultant, my goal is to never see you. Okay, because genuinely, it's the worst business model in the world. But genuinely,
luckily there's enough to do.
Exactly, it's genuinely a bad business model. But I really love a prenatal consult. Okay, because I like to go through things intellectually, and we do a little bit of practice, and we learn the normals and those expectations up front. So I really do love a prenatal consult. And I do see, from a journey point of view, I find moms reach their goals much better if they've had a prenatal. Because when we're trying to do intellectual things with a baby crying and a little bit of a sore boob and and a granny in the corner pouting, and and a dad running around flapping, it's very hard. It is very, very hard. So I like to do the intellectual things beforehand, if at all possible. And then I really do like, if the moms are anxious, okay, I think it's sometimes nice just to have you're doing well, everything's going well, you're doing perfect. Let's tweak this position, let's tweak that, because we have lost our village. So sometimes we just need a little tweak here and there, and that's perfectly normal. But where the real place is where we need it is when your body is saying, stop, this is wrong, okay? And we need to listen to our bodies. Sadly, we've been socialized into thinking breastfeeding should hurt, and all we need to do is power through it. And we don't do that in any other sphere of medicine. We go for a run, we get a sharp pain through our knee, we stop running, we go see a physio and an orthopedic, and we take meds and we do things. When you're in pain with breastfeeding, people just tap you and go, it's okay, it's normal, just power through, toughen those nipples up and you'll be fine, okay, which is completely incorrect. So when you are feeling pain, when you are feeling there's something wrong, you know your body better than anyone. You feel like it shouldn't be like this, okay, there's something wrong here. That's when I would definitely phone a lactation consultant and say, please come and help me. Let's figure out what's going on here. I shouldn't be cracked. I shouldn't be bleeding. It shouldn't be this hard. Something's wrong. And then obviously if the baby's having symptoms as well, if the baby's not gaining weight, the baby's, are not having weight in pre-nappies, you don't think there's milk transfer happening, let's have it assessed. Let's look at it. And that is the times when we really, I think you should call a lactation consultant and say, okay, stop, I think there's something wrong, I need help. And don't be shy about that.
Exactly, yes.
The best call is like, no, you're amazing, you're doing everything well, perfect, well done. That's the best consult. And it's not, and from a financial point of view, it is a bit of a cost, but as I said, my goal is not to see you 5, 6, 7 times. I like to see you once before, maybe once in the hospital or at home, preferably, and then only if there's problems do we then see you subsequently. So it's not something that you're going to be in for from an expense point of view for long term. It's a few here and there, and but when you need help, let's help you.
Exactly. Yeah. Before it's too late.
Before it's too late.
Yes.
It's never too late. It's never too late, but the longer we leave things, the harder it gets.
The more recovery it needs to be
the more
done.
recovery, the more work we have
Damage
to put
control.
in. Yeah, because we fix and then we rebuild, which takes a little bit longer and it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such good work, and there's a lot of information we can share, but I think that's beyond the purpose of this. Where can they find you if people are interested in working with you specifically?
So all over social media, I'm the baby lady.
Nice.
When you come up with these things many years ago and they just sort of stick. So on Facebook, I'm the baby lady. On Instagram, I'm the baby lady. On Twitter, I'm the baby lady.
Easy.
I do have a TikTok, but I can tell you I've probably put 2 videos. I'm not very good at it. I decided I'm beyond that age. I tried. It's too hard for me. I didn't put the effort in. It takes a lot of effort to do things. I didn't put the effort in. Maybe one day I'll put the effort in. So any of the social medias. Otherwise, I'm sure we can put my number and email address out there. Yes. Phone me, WhatsApp me. I'm very happy to help. And if I can't help you, we do have a huge network of lactation consultants in all the different areas, and we will get someone to come and see you. We don't try and keep clients. We want people seen as quickly as possible. This is a passion business, and we will get someone to help you. As quickly as possible.
That's good news. Yeah, there's a wonderful network of very passionate lactation consultants out there. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time and for all the amazing work you do to
thank you.
And help all these moms and babies out there to be healthy.
Perfect. It's platforms like these that actually help moms know that there is help out there. So thank you.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed this video, please share this with a friend who will benefit from this. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever we release new videos like this on our channel. We'd love to stay in touch and keep you updated with all our latest content and resources to equip and empower you. So if you're a midwife or any type of birth and baby worker, go to sensitivemidwifery.co.za/ free gift. If you're a mom, visit sisterlillian.co.za/free gift for more training and resources. That way we can keep you up to date when we release new episodes like this, plus a few other bonuses. You can also find the links I just mentioned in the show notes. Remember, you are making a big difference because you are shaping the future of humankind. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to journeying with you.